Choosing your niche doesn't have to be so high stakes. Scan the list and ask yourself, which of these have I actually lived? It's about tweaking. It's about refining. And so a lot of people have it backwards. They think that they have to have it perfect before they start. And that's really what's keeping them stuck. Let's talk about one of the biggest things that keep so many new coaches stuck before they even start. And this is choosing your niche. I got to tell you, I talk to women every single day that want to start a coaching business of their own. They want to start a business, but they just are struggling to really narrow down answering the question, what's the problem do I solve for people? This is such a thing that you can, and I agonized over it as well. And so if you're a divorced mom that's been thinking about starting a coaching business and your notes app on your phone looks like a freaking tornado of like 10 different ideas. If you've taken every single, quiz there is out there, followed every single follow your purpose prompt, and you're still staring at a blank screen, trying to figure out who exactly you would help and what the hell to do next, then you are in the right place. Because here's the truth. You don't need more ideas as far as figuring out your niche. I would bet that you actually, if you were to get quiet and really listen to what your heart is telling you, then you would really know what you're supposed to be doing. But oftentimes when we start to go there, we let a lot of fear get in our way. Imposter syndrome creeps in. We worry, oh my God, who would buy from me from that? Or I'm still navigating that. Why would anybody listen to me? And who would pay me for that? And all these things that get in the way. So you don't necessarily need more ideas. You need direction. And that's exactly what I'm giving you today. A very simple, zero fluff way to really narrow down your niche and move forward without freaking second guessing every step of the way, because that is what causes paralysis. And so if you're serious though about turning your story into a coaching business without wondering if you're doing it right or wasting time or all of that, then you absolutely need to get on the wait list for ReNewU. This is my signature 8-week beginner business program for divorced moms who really are ready to go from idea to income and create their first coaching business from scratch. So you guys want to get on this list because this is where I drop early access. This is where I give exclusive bonuses. There's a lot of behind the scenes things coming, and I'm opening up that in late fall. So you want to be the first to know. So let's talk a little bit about then maybe the real reason why you are stuck choosing a niche. So the thing is that this stage in the game, I think, especially so many of the women that listen to the show are over 35. Listen, girl, you're good at a lot of shit. Bottom line, okay? You're good at a lot of stuff and you've been through some things. So it can be hard. So I just want to normalize, if you're struggling to figure out exactly what you would coach on, it can feel a little bit daunting, right? But really one of the things that I really want you to really remember is that choosing your niche doesn't have to be so high stake. In fact, when I coach women, especially in ReNewU, I really teach women that when you're first creating your business, it's to really think about your niche and getting it to be 80% of the way there. Because oftentimes we get stuck at this paralysis and we don't start putting out content and even thinking about maybe how we would help people. We get so stuck in the niche piece of it and we think that it has to be perfect before we start putting it out there because we think to ourselves, what if I pick the wrong thing? I'm nervous to put myself out there and I don't want to look like an idiot. So what if I put myself out there and nobody cares? That would be so embarrassing. So I just need to make sure everything is buttoned up. You also can maybe start thinking oh my God, I'd love to coach on that, but what if I'm maybe not qualified? And so you stay stuck in research mode. You download more freebies, you bounce from idea to idea and just kind of hoping maybe that this clarity magically lands. And the truth is that clarity isn't found, it's created. I want to say that again. Clarity isn't found, it's created. And how is it created? By taking action. So much of the process that I take you through in ReNewU and when I coach women is getting, like I said, getting it to be your niche, even your process of how you coach people to 80% there. And then it's about really starting to put it out there and growing your community, having conversations with people, getting that first client. And then from there, that action creates the clarity. It's about tweaking. It's about refining. And so a lot of people have it backwards. They think that they have to have it perfect before they start. And that's really what's keeping them stuck. So when I help women, a very simple way and a very simple question that I always like to ask women who are really kind of in the very beginning stages of creating their business is the first question I like to ask is okay, if you were to close your eyes And if I were to say to you, all right, girl, I'm going to help you create a business where I guarantee you make $1 million a year, and I'm going to hold your hand every step of the way. And you're going to have all the answers to everything, and people are going to buy from you, and you're going to have endless clients and all the things. What would you coach on? No, don't let the fear get in the way. Don't let the, but what if nobody did it? No. Answer the question. What would you coach on? What would you coach on? Oftentimes we have that answer. But because we let fear and our ego and all the things get in the way, imposter syndrome, lack of confidence, all the things, which by the way are normal, then we kind of second guess ourselves, right? And so it's really, really important. Just allow yourself in this process to dream big. Start by answering that one question. If you had a playbook and were guaranteed success and you were going to have all the clients in the world and make multiple millions of dollars, what would you coach on? Start there. Now, if you're still struggling with that, that's okay. If you're like, I still don't know. I want you to grab a notebook and make a new doc on your computer, make a new notes app or make a new note thing on your phone. And I want you just to do a brain dump. I want you to write down every single niche idea, no matter how random, how messy, how not ready, how unqualified you feel. I don't give a shit. Write it all down. I want you to write it all. Don't judge it. Just brain dump it. And then I want you to really honestly look at that and circle the one that just won't shut up. Scan the list and ask yourself, okay, of these, which of these have I actually lived and overcome? One of these could I actually talk about all day long without zero notes? Even if you don't have a specific credential you think you need or a license or whatever credential or a degree or whatever, answer the question straight up. What one of these could you talk about all day with zero notes? Which one keeps tugging at you, even if it scares the hell out of you? And I don't want you to look for perfect. I just want you to look for the one that feels aligned for you right now. Listen, you're allowed to pivot later. I did a massive pivot in my brand. In fact, even over the last 2 years, there's been iterations of getting me to exactly where I'm at today. And in fact, if you talk to any successful coach, they will tell you the same. Where they started their business is most likely not where they've stayed. They may not have done a full 180 pivot, but there have definitely been some tweaks as you hone in and get more specific and get more clear. Now, the third step that you can do is really gut check it with your story. So ask yourself, what was I struggling with before and I figured this out? What was I struggling with? What results did I get? And how did I get there, right? And ask yourself, can I picture myself helping somebody do the same? So what was I struggling with as you're looking through that list? What was I struggling with before I figured this out? What results did I get and how did I get there, right? That's you're kind of start foreshadowing for what maybe your process could be in helping somebody. And can I picture somebody else do the same? And if you answered yes, especially to that last question, girl, you got a niche. Girl, you got yourself a damn niche. Now listen, I want to normalize. It still might feel a little bit messy, but you still might second guess it. And that is okay. That is okay. You're never going to feel 100% with it. And in fact, again, I don't want you to feel 100% with it because that means you took too long. That means you should have already started your business if you feel 100% with it. Okay. The goal is to get to be 80% sure. And then you get out there and you take the scary leap and you start sharing and you tweak and you refine. So I just want to say it one more time for the women in the back. All right. Number one, you don't need a niche that's never been done before. You need a niche that's been grounded in your story and a transformation, either a transformation that you've already lived or a transformation that you've helped somebody else do. Now, transformation doesn't necessarily have to mean personal transformation. It could be a transformation in business, right? Or it could be if you're a web designer. For me, I personally don't just work with women who are transformational coaches. I've got one of my clients, like I said, is a web designer. One is a functional medicine doctor. They're all different niches. So I want you to really think big here. All different niches that you can do, but really what is the transformation that you've either already helped somebody with or that you've personally lived? Because one of the things, especially when it comes to your experience, that I want you to remember, your experience, your lived experience, girl, it is your authority. It is your authority. And the longer that you keep waiting for the perfect idea, the longer you're going to delay the impact that you're going to make and the money that you're going to make. So if you're listen, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down and I really want to do the damn thing. I'm pumped to start thinking about my niche, but I really want to build this business out in full throttle. Then I do want you guys to hop on the interest list for ReNewU. Again, opening that up in late fall and the link will be in the show notes. But your next move just for today, all right, is I want you to brain dump every niche idea that's swirling in your head. Brain dump it without judgment. Just get it out there. Circle the one that keeps pulling you. And then I want you to just kind of start to validate your own story. Think through that on how can your story be weaved into that? Because remember, you can refine as you go. But girl, you got to go first. Okay? You've got to go. So I hope that this is helpful for you guys. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next one.